It's not October yet. It will be. Scary Movie Month is almost upon us. Best time of the year.
And we're going to be doing a bunch of live streams.
I think we should live stream personally. I think we should live stream. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Like that. Roger Ebert describes his review of it as he saw there were a lot of kids there, and he says that just the tone of the kids just went from being excited and throwing their popcorn and laughing to just being terrified. Some kids sobbing and things like that because they've never seen anything at that level of graphic realism and claustrophobia. So there's a reason why it's influential on the zombie, well, basically created modern zombie.
Yeah.
So that'd be a fun one to watch.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Fanatics of Film, and my name is Ben, and I've got my good cohort Joe here with me.
Good evening. We're going to talk about tonight's Better Call Saul, which I'm trying to think of the name of the episode.
Stupid? Something stupid. Something stupid. Kind of like me.
And me right now, because I just had a total stupid brain fart.
So, opening montage. This was actually great. You said you didn't like the music too much.
No, the music was a little too quirky, but the montage itself was perfect.
I absolutely love this. I love this scene, and it made. I know that you yourself, you said specifically how their relationship hasn't been that emotional for you, but for me, it actually has been. At least I let this montage do that to me. I let it bring me in and feel like I needed. I want them to be together. The severing of the different the separation of their lives, and then showing them being together with the same split screen. So that was extreme.
Yeah, the nice metaphor for their divide.
So even being present with each other, but not so present.
I mean, it's not like I'm not rooting for their relationship, but it's kind of like, I mean, because of what we know from Breaking Bad, obviously the relationship is dissolving. And at least from Jimmy's sort of involvement, he hasn't really been there in the sense that he's never truly honest with her about what he's doing. I mean, he's running burner phones.
But there was a point. There was a point, I believe, in maybe a season or two
where he tried,
where he was really trying. And
season 2, I think.
It's absolutely tragic to see because I do want to see some of his goodness come back in this, and you're seeing the continuous disappointment written all over her face.
But in a way, I mean, that parallels Breaking Bad with Walter White, because
totally
you don't want to see Walter White become this. I mean, you do. That's why you're watching the show. But I mean, he's so likable as Walter White, and a husband and a father, and you don't want to see him go down that path, but you have to watch it. And then he does go down that path, and you just see that this nice family dynamic is destroyed by this. But
I feel more connected to Saul in what he's doing because I don't know what it is, but for some reason I feel more relatable. It feels that way. It feels like with Walter, you just saw it happening. You're like, oh, the bastard, or this and that, and you just kind of let it happen, and you were kind of part of it. It just happened. But with Saul, for me personally, it's much more painful. It's much more, especially this scene right here, where it the fade to black. And it shows him alone here. This is the separation. This is just
scenes from a marriage, even though they're not married. But
War of the Roses or something, but maybe not necessarily.
Hopefully, it doesn't get that extreme.
Yeah,
because remember at the end of War of the Roses, they both die. So spoiler,
I do remember
for a 28-year-old film, 29.
And so you and then in this incredibly sad. Yet beautiful montage. You pointed out it's 2003.
Starts off, the first date we see is June 2003, and then it ends in January 2004. And then it goes even further with Kim's, what is it, PPD case files?
Yeah.
PPD,
yes.
PPD case files,
PPD.
2004 complete. So that leads me to believe that we actually went from 2003 to 2004, and now we're in early 2005, which would make sense because...
So you said it was like a 6-month period, or what was it?
Well, again, so like the first date you see is June 2003, then the second date you see is January 2004, and then finally you see the case file that says PDD case files for 2004 completed. So that leads
so
me to
it's
believe
a year and a half.
It's a year and a half,
Ah.
and which makes it even closer to the Breaking Bad timeline, because now we're only about 3 years away.
And so, do you happen to know what year we actually see Walter White in the pilot of Breaking Bad? Do you happen to know what year it was?
2008.
Okay, so we are what? So we're okay. So we are getting a lot closer. This is really interesting to see. Wow.
And to see their relationship over the course of that time, to the point where they're sitting in the same room having dinner, and for a minute, even with the split screen, you see Jimmy pouring her wine.
Yeah.
And then it's like they're no longer even sitting together.
Talking. Yeah, they're
not even talking. Yeah, and just
and a lot of that. A lot of the mechanism that was used there was the
brushing of the teeth.
The tooth brushing.
It was interesting too, because that first part of the montage, they're both
together,
both
on
mirrors,
both sides,
on both sides, brushing their teeth, and
it was very interesting. There was a lot told in that time period.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. Interesting way of fast forwarding a year and a half. So we know that now, and this is interesting. You also pointed out here in the scene with Huel. How oddly shaped his head was, but also you were saying that how he looks younger because he's lost some weight. So
he's lost some weight. At least it seems like he has, which kind of that works because he is supposed to be a few years younger. And I'm not trying to point out any deformities or anything like that. I'm just saying he's definitely got it. He's a noticeable guy.
It makes him extremely unique and instantly recognizable. Instantly recognizable.
Kind of like with this doctor too. I love her hair, Don Hector. So going into this whole, again, every episode has multiple subplots, and in this one we also get apparently Don Hector's recovering, and this doctor who was hired by Gus is. You mentioned that you thought maybe she was on his payroll, but from the sound of it, it sounds like Gus is bankrolling research she's doing. So she's legitimate. So she's legitimate,
right?
And she really is really trying to help him recover. And all Gus wanted to basically find out is he the same man?
And he does. He figures that out here in this scene, especially when he and his face is just priceless. The two things that stood out to me in this whole episode was how people react.
Yeah.
Like you have a Kim Wexler moment where she just the way she reacts.
Yeah.
You have Giancarlo Esposito, his incredible reaction to figuring out Don Hector's that he is competent. He realizes it's still him, and he's still my nemesis.
Just for all the people out there, if you're like up to some shady stuff and you're in a room with somebody you don't want them knowing anything, probably would help to like turn all the way around before you start making the face, that's the ticket. No, because that just screams suspicious. But I love the way Giancarlo Esposito does that. He's got great facial expressions,
and it's in the same exact kitchen, same house, everything. I love it that they're using all the exact same locations. Yeah. This was probably a huge headache for Vince Gilligan and the gang, but it's amazing to see this back. And you do see Giancarlo, Gus cooking. Scallops.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It definitely probably have their continuity guys working overtime, running through all the seasons of Breaking Bad to make sure that everything is connected and consistent. You know what I mean?
Gus being his esteemed chef self. This scene was really sad because I just wanted him to stop. I just really wanted him to shut up.
Yeah, so Jimmy goes, so it's Kim's company party.
Yeah.
Jimmy goes there, and after he sees her office and how well she's doing, he's a little jealous.
Yeah, and
he pulls a total dick move.
Yeah, and he does not apologize for it at all.
No. He was such a dick in that scene.
A complete ass. Let's go to Telluride, or was it?
It was Telluride first, and then it was Aspen.
Further and further away.
I mean, at first it's like he's just trying to make conversation. He's throwing out ideas out there, but then he realizes, okay, so this boss, he wants to take his employees somewhere fun for a quick weekend vacation and kind of training activity. And Jimmy just keeps like throwing out bigger ideas. Everybody, of course, is going to get on board because who wouldn't want a private charter plane to go out to Aspen to ski for a weekend, you know? But that's a lot of
the party
money.
bus. I love how you mentioned the party bus.
The party bus and that, yeah. And
what was it right here? You mentioned that he measures the office and realizes that it's a couple of feet larger than the one he.
Yeah, and just a few scenes ago, the one he's in the office with Huel. Well, the house he's thinking of renting out to be the office, and he walks into the what he called the partner office and did the foot count to see how many feet it was, and it was 6 feet. He's like, not bad, but he does the walk into Kim's and finds out hers is 10 feet, you know.
So do you think part of why he's gravitating towards this criminal lifestyle is just sheer jealousy? Is it just that he's just shameful? I mean, I'm wondering what is driving him to? I mean, it's sheer boredom. Is it all of these things?
Probably a little bit of everything, but it's also, I would think, with Jimmy, it's Slippin' Jimmy. It's his old self. It's just easy. It comes for him. It's like the attorney right here, the head of the company that Kim works for, says to him, like, you don't think small, do you? Right. And he's always thinking steps ahead. Like when Huel, so Jimmy's selling these burner phones that out of a van in an area where he's got a permit to do this. He's paying taxes on it. It's totally legal. But there's an officer who's upset because, he's selling burner phones to criminals. And Huel, coming behind him, has his headphones on and doesn't recognize this plainclothes officer in an unmarked vehicle and hits him with a bag of bread upside the head, knocks him down. And it's like Jimmy said, he's trying to get the money to get his own firm, his own business up. But I mean, he just thinks like 2 steps ahead. He's always thinking the bigger picture, and he just he's going to do whatever he's going to do to get it. And it's like he's always kind of had that kind of small time criminality mindset.
I'm constantly reminded of, I think it was either season 1 or season 2. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure to get this light up. It's either season 1 or season 2. And he says, I remember because he had there was a bundle of cash that he has in his possession. And he's just like, why am I working so hard when I could just get this? And I'm constantly reminded of that moment because, and I think that he's just calling back to that. So, anyway, what else are we? Let's see, what else can we think about this episode?
There was also what was happening with the building of the giant lab with the Germans. That is. For some reason, that's just really fascinating to me, the whole concept. Because when you see it in Breaking Bad, it's done. It's been in operation for a few years. You don't even know how long it's been in operation. You don't really think about all the steps it would have taken to build that. I mean, I always kind of assumed that basement was probably already there underneath the... Like, it never dawned on me that they would have to bring in a team of engineers from Germany to build this thing, and how many months, and it's gone over a year. Those men have been down there over a year. It's just really fascinating because it's such an interesting way, like, to show that they've got those homes. They've pretty much got everything they need, except for maybe privacy and garbage cans, because you never see any garbage cans lying around.
And you also pointed out, and of course, that what's burned into our brain is when Walter burns that place to the blows the whole thing up. And, that's something that we'll never forget. So it's funny seeing this place being built for the first time.
Yeah, now I think when I once this show is completely done and they are no more, I'm going to rewatch Breaking Bad. I was going to do that a couple seasons ago, but I decided I want to wait and see how it all flows narratively. I know that when it comes to that point in that Breaking Bad episode, spoilers, and they torch that thing, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be like, dude, do you know the amount of work and time that went into that thing?
Real quick side note, I just have to say this. My prediction are there are 2 people that we're going to see in the next season or 2 that we're going to see from Breaking Bad. It's going to be either Hank or it's going to be Skyler. And they're just going to be small cameos, or maybe they might be like, I don't know. But I think those are one of those 2 people are the next people we'll actually see that will what do you think?
I would love to see Hank. Yeah. Hank's one of those guys that when he first pops up, I mean, I didn't hate him, but I was like, he's an obnoxious loudmouth, which he is. But over the course of the series, like, I grew to love Hank.
But, well, he's a hero in an anti-hero world, right?
Yeah. No, he was a good lone gunman kind of a thing. But I have a prediction. Well, my friend Jan, who joined us for the screening of this, he's also got he and I were talking about the one German engineer who's sort of the hot-tempered one. He's not going to make it out alive. Our prediction is
it Kia? I can't.
I think that's his name.
I forgot his name. But yeah.
Because I don't think that I don't know if any of these men are going to go back to Germany.
Yeah, it'll be, dude. That will be interesting to see
because if they know this.
They know it exists, so it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if Gus plans on actually just offing them all.
I hope not, because I mean, most of them are cool. The head of the crew, I like his bond with Mike, and
I do too. Yeah,
friends.
Yeah. Well, he tells him that airman trout means something to the effect of world class strength or world class heroism or something like that.
Something like that.
Airman trout.
You know what? I'm willing to bet Gus probably won't take them all out, because you never know if you could use these guys again, and they are in another country. But I have a feeling. So they were talking about, these guys need some R&R. They've been cooped up.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
They're going from their warehouse where their homes are to the laundromat digging underground, and that's all they see. They need fresh air, and then he kind of hints at they might need something other. I'm guessing that's going to be women. So who knows? What if we have an episode where they, like, as a Christmas party or something, they take them out to rent a hotel. Gus gets some hookers or whatever.
Right.
And that dude pisses Mike off, and something goes down, and he just gets killed. I just predict that Mike's going to kill that guy.
I think that he's gonna do something like he's gonna accidentally kill a hooker. I don't know. That's just a thought. I don't know. Just a thought.
I just have a feeling that Mike is going to be the one to kill. Kia.
I think it's Kai. Kaya.
Kaya, something like that. IKEA.
Forgive us for
IKEA.
that.
I think Mike's gonna end up killing that guy. I mean, he's just pushing all his buttons,
So my favorite part of this episode was Kim Wexler's response, her reaction to Saul saying, "Okay, so we're just we'll fix this guy up. We'll get him we'll make him smell like a distillery. We'll get him, and we'll get him to just let loose on the judge, and it'll be all good, right?" So it's like you could literally see Slip and Jimmy coming, but he's basically taking what they used to do, which was screw over people in restaurants, right? They used to, the two of them, him and Kim, used to hustle people in restaurants or bars or wherever they were, just to get them to, just because they enjoyed the rush of convincing people.
I think Kim did it a few times. Jimmy, he's an old pro at it. I don't think it was like a regular thing.
But what I mean is that they had done. What my point was is that they had done this together. So he's basically taking the bond that they have as something together, and trying to be like, okay, so we can put this into a real court case that you're in a lawyer of, and literally risking your career and your life and your possibility of legal troubles.
I mean, Huell is facing 18 years or 18 months in jail, 18 months in jail and 1 year probation, and he's about to run because he doesn't want to go to jail. And so, like, Jimmy coming up with this idea of like, well, the officer has a DUI from 8 years ago. We just put a little alcohol on him, get him riled up. I know how to bait him. Just the type of things that make me fear attorneys and the whole criminal justice system. Yeah. And he's right there, like, calling it out. And that look on her face of like, are you for real?
Yes.
Like, what? And I kept thinking, why are you even telling her that? Why are you even asking her this?
But I can see the conflict in her, because you can see the evolution of thought in her face. That's what I love about Kim so much, is that in that scene, she is literally, you can see her thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, that's right, we used to do this together. And oh my gosh, you're taking this, and but at the same time, there's definitely, I mean, I see, at least this is what I saw. Definitely saw some conflict in what she was, because she was trying to figure out, like, why are you even asking me this? But at the same time, she's realizing why he's asking her this, why he's somehow twisting stuff.
It was almost like the realization that she knows he's this way. He never seems to stay away from that for too long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
and she tried to pull him away, and it's just like this thing. She tried to pull him away. She's a noble character. She tries to get Huell off. She's fighting with that, I think it was a DA, district, or someone she's fighting with who's doing the prosecuting and trying to get him to do the 2.5 years. And she's just really fighting for that. She really enjoys fighting for the common criminal, or at least someone who's, she really enjoys that. She enjoys being in the streets as a hardcore lawyer for the people. At least that's what it seems like to me.
Well, from her emotional response, I gathered that disappointment. She can't believe that's happening, but she kind of probably knew it would. And then she's still going to help him out, but she's going to go about it completely by the books. And when that doesn't seem to work, she has something else up her sleeve. What that is, we don't know yet. We will hopefully in the next episode. Because I think this is why she fights for underdogs, is because the system cracks down pretty hard. The reason why they're going after Huel is because he has a prior.
And that's it.
It's not like a history of... It's like one arrest, so he automatically gets... Where she's talking about... you've prosecuted several other people that did physical damage to these cops, and they only got like 5 months probation.
Broke one of his
and
cop broke his
no
nose.
time served. Yeah. Why are you coming down so hard on this guy? And because he's a prior, he's got a prior, and he was helping this scumbag, not realizing that that's her boyfriend, or maybe she does. I don't know. It seemed to me that she didn't know, calling him a scumbag, sleazy, former lawyer, and that just really hit her, because obviously she cares about Jimmy.
Kim is in the pursuit of justice here. That's what I think. So we are all dying to know, what do you guys think in the comments below? Let us know what you guys think about. We drew a blank. We tried to figure out what the hell Kim is going to do with all the craft stuff, with all the markers and the crayon and the colored pencils and the colored construction paper and all these things. It makes you wonder, what does she have planned? It's interesting.
Yeah, that is really weird. Maybe she's going to maybe it's just going to be an arts and crafts project, and it'll be like a science fair. I don't know. What could she possibly use that stuff for? That's the nature of this show, and of course, then it ends, and you're like, no. So tell me more of the story.
So here's our question to you people: who do you think is going to show up? Do you agree with me that Hank and or Skylar are going to show up within the next 12 episodes, at least, or within the next season, by next season or so? Or do you think it's going to be someone else? Do you think that Gus is going to kill all the Germans? And last but not least, do you think what's your speculation? What do you think Kim actually has planned with all these crafts?
Yeah. And I'm going to say that as far as this season goes, again, every episode consistent, but this and the last 3 have been really, really engrossing. Also, no Nacho again. So when are we going to get back into how Nacho's recovering? I want to know. This is why I don't want to wait for more. I don't want to wait till next week. Just AMC.
According to what we've been... Nacho's been bleeding out for what? 2 weeks now? Or 3 weeks now?
Remember, he collapsed at his dad, so hopefully his father got him some help, right?
I'm in the story, I'm sure it's only a couple of days, but it's just a funny thing. So I'm sure...
remember, we've gone through that with this whole montage. They've moved the show so far ahead. It's like, where the hell has Nacho been for over a year? He's still working for the Salamancas, So if they're jumping
that far ahead in the timeline, and it does make you wonder what the hell happened to him. I think it would be interesting if he just randomly shows up in an episode as a cameo, and we don't know what happened.
But you know how these shows go. You never know. The next episode could just be explaining what was happening to other characters during that whole 1.5 year period of the montage at the beginning. So who knows? I hope that's not the end of Nacho, is what I'm saying. I hope they didn't just go, he's injured, now he's out of it, because he's been such a big part of it since the beginning.
Well, especially Gus isn't going to just let him out of it. Gus has got him pretty much by the balls, right?
He belongs to Gus now. So do you think... So I have a speculation. I wonder if Nacho's going to try and get out of Gus's control. And if maybe that's why he ends up dead, if he ends up dead.
I think that's definitely what will happen. I think he's going to die... Or his father will somehow save his life. I think Nacho's father will probably somehow save his life and somehow get him out, and then his father will sacrifice himself, and then Gus might let him go, or he might just kill them both.
The thing is I think if Nacho does die, I feel like it's almost to be expected, and with the nature of this show, it would be a bummer, but it wouldn't be like completely out of nowhere. right? Completely out of place. But to have him sort of make sort of a happy ending for him, because I like his character, because again, he's a criminal, sure, but he's a criminal by circumstance. He's a criminal with a code of honor. Yeah, so it makes him likable.
I've said this many times. I'm sure you're all sick of me of hearing it from me, but my two favorite characters are Kim and Nacho, and yeah, I do not want to see Nacho die. If he dies, which he probably will, I'll be really sad about it. I do not want to see him die.
I don't want to see him die. I mean, I'm just saying if he does,
right.
it wouldn't kind of fit the.
Right. Exactly. The
atmosphere.
I know.
Course,
I'm just. I go
Jimmy
attached to these characters.
Is my favorite because he was my favorite character on Breaking Bad. I like Mike a lot in this show. They've built up his personality so much more.
His German is flawless.
Very American German accent. 9. It's verboten. No, he doesn't sound like that. That's not even. So far, I'm going to give this episode definitely a 3-star rating. It's definitely must-see TV for me, from my point of view.
This show was something stupid. You've been watching The Fanatics of Film. My name is Ben.
And hi, Mike. That's Mike there. I'm Joe, and as always, like and subscribe.
And have a splendid evening. Hope you're having a great time with this season.